Hello and welcome. You're watching Best of the Bets. My name's Christina Nicolaides, and once again I have my regular guests with me. I have Sam Dymond from Best of the Bets. He's our editor extraordinaire, and I have Gareth Walker, who's our bookie extraordinaire, and Christina here to keep you company.
Presenter extraordinaire.
Thank you very much. A Super Sunday offer.
Super Sunday, it looks fantastic. It's made even more better by HeavenBet's fantastic offer, which is that for the Chelsea against Arsenal match, if Juan Mata scores at any time during the game, then HeavenBet will refund losing first or last goal scorer bets and correct score bets on that game. And then for the Tottenham-Manchester United match, if Robin van Persie scores at any time, which he generally does, if he scores at any time during the game, then again HeavenBet will be refunding losing correct scores and first and last goal scorers on the Tottenham against Manchester United match.
Fantastic. Moving in then to the first game, Chelsea versus Arsenal. Chelsea at home, 1 win in 7 in the league.
Yeah, they're 1.8 to win this, despite that home record. 1.8 Chelsea, 3.9 the draw, and Arsenal, who've got problems of their own as well, 4.5.
Another week, more booing at Stamford Bridge from the home fans. But yeah, it's the home form that's letting them down. I think it's 7 points from the last 21 they've taken at home. And they obviously lost to Swansea in the Capital One Cup. Can Arsenal take advantage of that? They're
the seventh best team in England, in my opinion, at the moment. They should be looking at going to Stamford Bridge and thinking, great time to play Chelsea, all these problems. But they've got this bizarre perseverance with Walcott up front on his own, which just doesn't work. And they had someone in Olivier Giroud who really has started to look the part as a striker. So why they've dispensed just to try and get Walcott on side, I don't know. It seems mad. Worrying times. And for all of Chelsea's problems at home, I think this will be a comfortable home victory. 3-0 is 12.7. I'm probably a bit harsh there. I'll go 3-1, which is 11.4. But I think if Chelsea can put these boo boys out of their head and get off to a decent start, I think Chelsea could win easily. And start Demba Ba instead of Fernando Torres. Absolutely. Demba Ba's got to 3 Chelsea goals from 3 starts. So it took Fernando Torres 39 games to sort of reach that milestone. This is a traditionally tight game. They've met 75 times in the league at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have won 25, Arsenal have won 25, and there's been 25 draws. But I'm of the same opinion of Gareth. I think Chelsea will win this on Sunday, and I also like the 3-1 scoreline. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal. 2-1 to Arsenal. 2-1 to Arsenal is 12.4.
Well, you know I like my big odds, so bring it on once again.
You do, yeah.
We're going to move on to the next game, Tottenham versus Manchester United. Tottenham did beat Man U when it was the other way round.
Tottenham are 3 to win this game. The draw's 3.5. Manchester United favourites at 2.5.
Oh, we know Sandro's out as well.
That will be a big miss for them.
He has tweeted, sorry guys, but this one really got me. The beast is hurt.
Did he tweet that to you?
No.
Okay. I know you're well connected. I didn't realise Sandro was on your list. Yeah, I mean, Tottenham, it's not a typical Spurs season in that they're not playing as the great brand of football that Tottenham fans used to pride themselves on when they were sitting mid-table in the league. But I don't think anyone cares about that. If they get the two holy grails of the season, which is to get in the Champions League and to finish above Arsenal, then everyone will be very happy at White Hart Lane. And at the moment, it's looking like they will achieve both of those aims. I really like Tottenham. I think defensively they're very solid. Slightly misleading stat that they've only conceded 2 goals in the last 6 games.
Really? Because you were very keen on that in the week.
Well, yeah, I do think they're very solid defensively, and I thought you were about to butt in and tell me that that's because they had 6 very easy games and these teams didn't have a shot on goal. I think that's a sign of how well Tottenham are defending. They conceded 2 goals in injury time at Goodison Park, which they'll be kicking themselves about, and since then they've looked really, really tight defensively, and I think they'll be very, very tight defensively in this one. I don't see many goals here. I think this game could well finish with Tottenham nicking a 1-0 victory, which is 9.6. And another bet that I really like in this game is going against the popular consensus on it, but both teams not to score, which is priced at 2.2.
Before we sum up on this game, we're going to hear what Mike Holden has to say.
I think the stats tell their own story, and I'd be inclined to back United to win the first half. Or United half-time, United full-time double result if you want to, if you expect United to take the 3 points. The stats tell their own story. United, since the beginning of last season, have won 19 out of 30 first halves on the road. Whereas in the last 13 away games, when they've not scored in the first half, they've dropped 26 points. I think there's a stark contrast between those two statistics, and I think it's vital that United, seize the initiative early and then play the game on their terms from there on. And the worry is, of course, is that Villas-Boas is kind of wise to this. and plays a really cagey first half and tries to get to half-time goalless and then win the second half as an isolated event. But personally, with United's record away from home in the first half, I think that's the way to go.
So Mike, agreeing with you there, Gareth, and just did you two have a chat about what to wear for today's show? Because you're in matching shirts.
Yeah, we had a three-way Skype call with Lionel Messi. So.
So we're going to see Lionel Messi wearing a similar shirt, are we, this week?
Absolutely.
Next year, I'm sure Gucci will pay him to do that, yeah. Mike's bets there. United to win the first half is priced at 2.8. And the United half-time, full-time, so they have to be ahead at half-time and win the game. Yep. That's available at 3.7. Those were his two picks there. OK, Gareth, looking at the first goal scorer market, Robin van Persie to score, 17 goals in the league. He's on fire. He's 4.4 to score the first goal in this game. And, of course, if he scores at any time, then he'll trigger the money-back offer on this game. OK, we're going to look at Monday's game, Southampton versus Everton. 15th position, 22 points for Southampton. Yeah, 3.8 to win this game. The draw's 3.6 and Everton 2.05. The bet I like in this game is a short price, but I think it's got legs. We've talked about both teams to score for Everton so often, but Southampton also like to get in on that act. Between these two, I think 43 times this season they've played. Well, Everton haven't been beat on the road since mid-November. I don't think they'll be beaten here. For me, it's 1-1. As I say, 33 of those 43 games have been both teams to score, and that includes Everton's 3-1 win against Southampton at Goodison. Yep. So 1-1 for me, both teams to score. 1-1 is 7.1, and the both teams to score is 1.6. Everton, 18 in a row for the both teams to score. It came to an end last week with the goalless draw at Swansea, but I agree that that's going to be back on this week. I like 2-1 here to Everton, which is 7.8. No doubt they'll either concede an early goal or they'll concede a goal right near the end, as is they want this season, but I think they'll be good enough. Although I have been impressed with Southampton recently, and this Cork-Schneiderlin partnership is really key to how well they're going. But Everton for me here. Thanks, gents. Remember, for you to place your bets, it's heavenbet.com, and you can also follow us on Twitter at bestofthebets. Gareth, we're going to move on to European action. You do have another offer. Yes, well, to celebrate the fact that we've got German football back, HeavenBet will refund any bets, correct score bets or first or last goal scorer bets on any game in the German Bundesliga this weekend if the game finishes 0-0. OK, so we're going to look at our first game. So Fortuna Düsseldorf versus Augsburg, 13th versus 17th. Yeah, prices here 2.3 for Fortuna Düsseldorf, 3.4 the draw, and Augsburg 3.3. Yeah, it's not the most glamorous of fixtures to announce a return to the Bundesliga, but it's a very intriguing game nonetheless. Augsburg find themselves in 17th position, coming back from the winter break, which is exactly where they were this time last year. They're 6 points worse off, and I think that could be really the key to whether they can survive. Fortuna Düsseldorf, great start to the season after being promoted, kept clean sheets in their first 5 games. They sort of fell off towards the end, but they did win their last 3 home games before the break, and I think it's that form at the Spirit Arena that's really going to sort of keep them comfortable this season. Yeah, I really like this betting heat because everything points to a home win, really. It's 12th against 17th, 21 points, plays against 9 points. Düsseldorf have got the form coming in. So 2.3 is a lot pointing to it, but it's almost one of these, if you think something looks too good to be true, it often is. And I'm actually going to take a chance with Augsburg here. I think the winter break will have done them a power of good. They'll remember how they performed last year in the second half of the season. I think they're good enough to nick a 1-0 victory here, which is available at 7.5. That's the bet I'll be going for. What's the draw? The draw is available 3.4. I have to disagree with Gareth. I think odds of 2.3 about Düsseldorf are very, very tempting. My best of the bets colleague Joe Bruin went to see Düsseldorf play Hanover before Christmas, and he said the quality was quite poor, but they did do enough to get past, and I think they'll do similar here. Augsburg, 1 win this season, haven't won a single away game. I can see I think it'll be low scoring, but I think a home win nonetheless. OK. We're going to move on to La Liga. Valencia versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid did beat Valencia in the Copa del Rey 2-0 earlier in the week. Valencia for this game, 4.6. The draw's 3.9. Real Madrid, 1.8. Odds on away from home. Do you trust them?
Not at all. You both mentioned that 2-0 win against Valencia in the week in the Copa del Rey, but you know, it could easily have been a very different story. But it's such a stark contrast to his time at Chelsea with John Terry and Frank Lampard, and then at Inter Milan with Marco Materazzi. He usually gets the senior players on side, and it makes for a great atmosphere. It's just, it's completely fallen apart.
Yeah.
Not won in 4 games. They drew at the bottom of the table Osasuna 0-0 last week. Their only win, sorry, they did win one. It was against Real Sociedad, but they were pretty poor in that game as well.
With Espanyol as well in that one, yeah.
And it's really only sort of the odd bit of magic from Ronaldo that's, you know, getting them points. So you just would not want to back them at the moment.
This game isn't a walk in the park by any means. Valencia, a lot stronger at home than away. Be looking for revenge from the cup. I think you've got to be looking to side with the home team here in whatever way. I like 2-0 actually, which is as big as 18.9. Yeah. I think that's it.
Valencia have recovered after a sort of a poor start, another transitional season for them at Mestalla. But it's 4 wins in the last 5 now, and I agree absolutely with Gareth. There is only one bet you can have here, and it's on Valencia.
Okay. Briefly, Roma versus Inter Milan. We're moving on to Serie A.
Yeah, 6th versus 4th this one. Roma even money to win this, 2. The draw is 4, and Inter Milan 3.4.
Intriguing game. Inter, you know, we thought they were really sort of mounting a serious title challenge earlier in the season after 7 straight wins. It just really hasn't gone to plan since then.
They have won the last 2 games.
They have won. Well, they beat Pescara last weekend, which, you know, they should be doing. It's their form away from the San Siro, though. It's just really questionable. They've lost the last 4, and now they face a Roma side who have won their previous 4 at home. I think notable with Roma this season, with Zeman in as manager, it's just that they're so attacking, notoriously attacking, no emphasis on defence at all. Half of their 20 games have seen over 4.5 goals, 5 or more goals, which is astonishing. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a very similar scenario here, just goals, and you could pick a scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're looking for goals, over 2.5 goals is 2.7. So if there's 3 or more goals in the match, that's a winner. Yeah, Roma need a win to keep any sort of faint Scudetto hopes alive. Inter really need to keep, if they're going to be serious about challenging Juventus, they'll be looking for a win as well. Any darts you want to throw at the correct score?
I'd pick something like 4-2 Roma.
4-2, which is 19. That'll be a nice bet.
Why not?
Nice. OK, and lastly, we're looking at Bordeaux versus Paris Saint-Germain.
Bordeaux at 4.2, draw 3.3, and Paris Saint-Germain, again, just about even money at priced at 2.
Another red card held back PSG last week, a 0-0 draw with Ajaccio. They've been knocked off the top now by Lyon.
Yeah.
So they need to get back on track. But the one thing about PSG lately is the fact that they are very tight at the back. They've kept clean sheets in 5 consecutive games. They're now playing the draw specialists in Ligue 1 in Bordeaux. They've drawn 11 this season, including a 0-0 draw at PSG early in the season. I would not be surprised at all to see exactly the same outcome this time around.
I think Bordeaux will have enough to take something off Paris. 0-0 at 7.6 is a bet that stands out.
Yeah, funnily enough, I mean, the Europa League, I think, is the one thing that's held Bordeaux back this season. They've conceded a lot of late goals in games that have followed their Europa League adventure, and you know, they've often led to draws, and it's these draws that have stopped them sort of challenging. I think it's only a club really that, you know, as well run as Fulham that can juggle both competitions and do well. So,
yeah,
did Fulham have a good run in that?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it one day.
Best bet for Sunday, come on.
Well, I like Tottenham to beat Manchester United at 3. I appreciate it's likely to be a tight game, but I think Tottenham... United just don't do draws.
You can see my face,
1 in
can't
22.
you?
I can see your face. I'm going to ignore that glare you're giving me, and I'm going to confidently say that my best bet for Sunday is Tottenham to beat Manchester United.
Well, you were wrong last week. You'll be wrong this week. Sam?
You're going to take on a giant of England. I'm going to take on a giant of Spain. I think Valencia a great value here to take immediate revenge on Real Madrid for that defeat in midweek and get the win this weekend that they should really have got.
And that
Wednesday.
price is 4.6 for Valencia.
Thank you.
OK, and
Yours?
my best bet for Sunday, well, Sunday, can I do Monday? Southampton,
want,
Everton?
Can we allow that?
I guess we'll
Can you allow
that. Yeah. Well, we'll allow it if you're going to go for Everton.
I am going to go for Everton.
Oh, fantastic.
Everton to beat Southampton, 2-1.
2-1 is 7.8.
Okay.
So another one for the Colts.
Thanks for that, gents. Remember, for you to place your bets and find all the latest odds, it's www.heavenbet.com. You can now follow us on Twitter as well, @BestOfTheBets. And if you want to watch this show back, then go to www.theplayerchannel.com/sports. We'll see you back here, same time, same place, next week. See you then.